Welcome to our first ever YouTube Live. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. In fact, things did just happen just before we came live. I also had a cup of tea like Liz.
What happened to your cup of tea, darling?
I just launched it through the caravan. It was sitting on the bench. I spun around, knocked it with my arm, and
a whole cup of tea just literally launched all through our brand new caravan as a way to christen it, I think.
We just christened the caravan with tea, at least. Anyway, we're here. We made it. It's good to see a heap of you on here already. Heaps of questions already rolling in.
Yeah,
this is going to be a live Q&A webinar type style video. So pretty much ask us anything. We're just really excited to connect with our audience. This is something we've been meaning to do for a very long time, and we're stoked to be finally going live on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be a recording of this, so if you watch it, it won't be live, but yeah.
I don't think we should waffle on too much because the questions are rolling in thick and fast. Just to catch everyone up, if you are new here to our YouTube channel, I'm Simon.
I'm Liz.
And we travel Australia in a caravan, and we've been on the road for the last 2 years with our two young boys, Harrison and James. Harrison's 7, James is 5, and been having an absolute ball. 2 days ago, we picked up our brand new titanium caravan that we're sitting in right now. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of questions about that. We'll launch into them soon. I'm going to have to scroll back up here and start ripping into these questions to make sure we can get through as much as possible tonight for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome to have you all here. So first question is from Peter Wilson, and he's asked us, what are the main differences between the new titanium that we're in now and the zone that we had before, structurally and cosmetically? Well, the big difference, there's a lot of similarities, obviously, and there's a lot of differences. The big differences structurally would be that this time we went with a painted chassis instead of a galvanized chassis to try and save some weight. And the big difference in the construction of the body of the caravan is this one is an aluminium frame with a composite skin versus the zone was a foam sandwich composite construction. Cosmetically, they probably couldn't be more different.
Yeah, the titanium's got a lot more customization with the colors, with the layout, with the options that you can choose. It's, worlds apart in customization.
Exterior colors are dark grey. Inside is completely of our choosing, all the colors and everything like that. Obviously, we're not going to be able to go through that tonight. Kids are sleeping just next to us and it's dark outside. But, coming up on the channel will obviously be a full walk around of the new van and everything about it. So, full details on that coming up soon. So if you're not subscribed to our channel already and you want to check that out, make sure you whack that subscribe button. Next question was happening to empty nesters.
Hey guys!
Good to see you guys. Hope you're traveling well. Yes, we are excited if you can't tell. We're absolutely buzzing. So thank you. Let's see. Happening to empty nesters asked us what we love already in the new van and what we miss from the old van. 2 days in, I don't think there's much we can really miss just yet, and I'm not sure there ever will be, to be honest. But what we're loving the new layout that we've chosen, particularly the kids' end. So it's a pretty
and the bathroom. It's so good. The functionality is amazing. Sorry to cut you in.
No, you're right. Yeah. So I was going to say that whole end of the bunk end, the kids' end down there, just works functionally so much better than our old one. Just for the way we live and for trying to get kids through the shower and through their nighttime bedtime routine and everything like that, just works so much better. So that's the first thing we've noticed. I'm sure there'll be heaps as we go traveling it for the next while that'll come up. And who knows, there may be some things we miss, but for now, we're just in love. We're loving it. And
I'm loving the kitchen layout. So I'll show you more of that in the interior walkthrough.
Guy Draper, good to see you, mate.
Hey,
Guys asked us, said congratulations on selling the zone. Thanks, mate. And are we happy with the price? Yeah, we were, mate. Yeah, we got 130,000 for it, if anyone's curious. So it was a 2021 base. We've done 40,000 Ks in it. And we got 130 grand. We were really happy with that price. I think it was a fair price. We obviously hunted for a bit more, and you always want more. But I think in the current market, we were happy with the price, and obviously the person that bought it, they were quite happy with the price as well. So, stoked with that. XT trains, planes, buses and automobiles. Where do we charge our electronic devices in the van, and what power socket will you need, and how do you install them? We couldn't have more power sockets than what we've got in this new van. The old one was pretty good. This one has USBs and 240-volt outlets spread around it, and USB A and C, which is pretty handy. So we charge as much as we can, obviously, off 12 volts. So it's a lot more efficient than charging off your inverter and running your inverter to charge. So all our camera gear, iPads, all that sort of stuff.
Laptops.
Yeah, USB, charge it off 12 volt.
And then the drills and all the other power tools, where do you keep that?
Yeah, so power tools and stuff I charge up outside or in the tunnel boot, and obviously laptops, we need to run 240 volt to charge those. So yeah, it depends on the device.
Yeah, they're at the bed, they're in the couch, they're in the kitchen, they're in the bed, the kids' room, they're in the bathroom, they're in the tunnel boot, they're everywhere. They've sorted that out. It's good.
Trying to keep up here. Steve Thompson loves our work. Well, thanks, Steve, and we love having you here. What did we do for work in Canberra before we started the channel? We've never actually covered this.
It's like
a checkerboard.
It's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, it is. Most of my recent working life before we started travelling was in the metal roofing industry. So I was on the tools for a number of years, and then became a project manager, and then ended up running a Canberra branch of a national roofing company in Canberra for a couple of years. And yeah, that was pretty much my last sort of 10 years of work.
Yeah, and I was a primary school teacher, which I taught on the Central Coast in Canberra in the public and private system. And we basically were just exhausted.
Blue collar workers, eh? Who would have thought? Susan has asked how we keep up with the school stuff. I will handball this one straight over the list.
Oh man, as a school teacher, I thought I would have this. I'm like, that's not gonna be a problem. I've got the curriculum sorted. Teaching your own kids is the hardest thing you will ever do. They are way worse for you than they would ever be for their school teacher. We basically just have to set a good routine where we have a scheduled time, we do it every morning, and then move on with the rest of the day. But we do not spend 6 hours a day doing schoolwork, that is for sure. And we are constantly behind. But that's because sometimes life happens and we have coffee and, go for hiking and do things and have fun, go explore, and we just make it work with our lifestyle.
Yep.
And we're happy with it, but everyone finds their own rhythm and routine and what works for you as a family. So that's my advice. Find what works for you. Don't worry about what anyone else does. What works for you, your kids, and go with that.
And just quickly on that, I think the other thing too is obviously our lifestyle is their classroom. What we do, we're out in nature a lot. We're going hiking. We get the kids to read the signs and learn from those signs. So
they count every step.
Yeah, they count. Yeah, exactly. So, and we're always playing little games on hikes or in the car and things like that too. So while we certainly don't sit down and do 6 hours of formal schooling every day, we certainly make up for that, and they pick up obviously by having us around all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Titanium Caravan says, congratulations, guys. You, right back at you. Congratulations on selling us one. Well done. Dan T asked, can bugs get through the window screen behind me? Don't know.
No.
I don't think so. The window's closed, so that probably helps. We haven't had any bugs in yet, apart from obviously when we opened the door. Our old van we did, they were a different sort of blind. They weren't these concertina ones. They were just the straight ones, and they tend to blow out in the wind and let some bugs in. And we were often struggling with that. But these ones, again, we've only been in the van for 2 days. We didn't spend much time in it last night. We were at the Titanium Owners Rally last night, and we were out socialising, shall we call it?
Socialising is a nice way to put that.
Yeah. Where have we got? Gail is g'day. Loud and clear. Alan Walker's asked how we go shopping online and getting things delivered. Yeah, this is a good one. This is something we weren't aware of before we started travelling. A couple of tips on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to talk about the post?
Yeah, so Australia Post, you can, if you sign up for, it's called Parcel Collect, you can get stuff delivered to any post office in Australia, and then they'll hold it there until you can go and pick it up. So we try and plan ahead roughly where we're going to be, what towns we're going to be going through. It's a little bit tricky these days, obviously, because delivery times are all over the joint. But generally, we'll just get anything we need to order online, and we try and batch order. So we sort of stock up a few things that we might need to order and get them delivered all to the same place, just to save us having to try and be too many places at once. Those post offices will hold it for a certain amount of time. I think it's about 2 weeks. But you can forward it on as well. So that's a really handy system. So it's just called Parcel Collect through Australia Post.
And the other nice thing about it is that if you need to redirect it, if it's still in transit and hasn't arrived at the post office yet, you can redirect it for free. But once it's been delivered to a post office, then you have to pay an extra if you want it to go to another post office. So you can redirect it if it's still in transit for free, which is awesome.
Yeah. G'day, Bernard. Good to meet you yesterday as well, mate. Thanks for jumping on and saying g'day. David Dawson's asked, are we happy with the titanium so far?
Stoked.
Mate, we're in love. So
happy. Like, Friday look at our faces.
Yeah. Friday when we picked it up, it was very overwhelming. Like there was a lot to take in, a lot. And if you've ever had a caravan handover experience, you probably experienced a similar thing. And yeah, we were very overwhelmed. But by sort of that first afternoon when we pulled up at camp, we just went to a nice little free camp near Seymour in Victoria, just to get, calm down a little bit and take a bit of time to take a look through it. And yeah, it started to feel like home really, really quickly. And by the next morning, it already feels like home. Harrison woke up Saturday morning after the first night in the van and said, Mum and Dad, this feels like home. So
I was like, oh.
Yeah, it definitely has a more homey feel than our old van. It probably helps that we chose all the colours and the fittings and fixtures, but it's a bit of a warmer feel, and it's very us. So we can't wait to show you through it. So it's going to be awesome. Jake's saying his daughter Crystal from Array of Travel uses a wheelchair and wants to know what are our favourite wheelchair accessible sites, waterfalls or experiences. We do try and cover this as much as we can. It's always in the back of our mind when we're doing hikes or just campgrounds and accessing areas like that. We always try and keep this in mind, not just for people in wheelchairs, obviously, but also parents that might be having have a pram or something like that with younger kids, just to give them an idea. So yeah, if you're watching any of our videos and we don't point that out, feel free to drop us a comment below the video, and if we have that information, we'll let you know. But favorite ones, there was a good one in Tassie actually at the lighthouse. It's failing me the name of it, but it's just north of Wineglass Bay. And is that where it was?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It's just north 5 minutes north of Wineglass Bay. There's a beautiful
lighthouse. Cape something lighthouse. Anyway, it's probably one of the most impressive short walks we've done recently. It's only a few hundred meters. It's all pram and wheelchair accessible, and just the views and everything are incredible.
I'm thinking Russell Falls in Tasmania as well, in Mountfield National Park. That was all wheelchair friendly. That was really
Russell
well
Falls
done.
Is a cracker. Trying to think of anything on the mainland we've done of recent times. I'll keep scrolling for a question.
You keep scrolling, and can I come back to you, because it'll come to me. There's a few that I'm thinking of that are just nice big flat circuits, and give me a minute. It'll come to me.
Okay, Bemir, I hope I'm saying that right. Bemir Mighty is asking that they love us and watch us every week too, by the way. So thanks, guys. Straight back at you. New to caravanning and want to do some beach camping with our semi-off-road van. Have we got any tips to avoid getting stuck if you're on your own? First tip is expect to get stuck. I think just get rid of that fear of getting stuck. Just accept that it's possible and probable that you'll get stuck in sand. If you've watched our videos, we've done it a number of times, normally on our own. Number one thing is get some recovery tracks of some kind. We use treads these days, and they're brilliant. We love them. So get yourself some recovery tracks, because they're by far the best self-recovery device you can get. Second to that is a decent shovel.
And let your tyres down.
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
But those first two is getting you out. We haven't done a whole video actually about driving on sand and towing on sand. So if you haven't seen that one on our channel, feel free to jump back and watch that. Maybe, I don't know, after you watch this one tonight. But yeah, those first two, get yourself some treads or some sort of recovery tracks and a long-handled shovel, and some way to let your tyres down and pump it back up. So a cheap 12-volt compressor will do the trick, and a way to do your tyre pressures. And don't be afraid to go very, very low with your tyre pressures, a lot lower than you might think. The lowest we've ever gone was to get into Windabandy on the west coast, and we were down to 6 and 8 PSI. To get through the soft, dry sand there, and we still got bogged and had to get ourselves out. So, yeah, I think it just goes with the territory. If you're going to go and drive on the beach, you've got to be prepared and expect to get stuck. Obviously, hope for the best, but plan for the worst is our advice with that.
And just check the tides, because the tides is really the only thing is going to get you into a lot of trouble. So if you've got the tides right, you're all good. And you've got time up your sleeve.
I've just lost my place completely in here.
Oh, no.
Glenn Scott, 91 days till you're on the road. Well done, guys. That's awesome.
That's exciting.
What's our top tips for newbies? Just don't stress.
Don't stress.
Just take it easy.
There are shops on the way. You don't need to buy everything straight away.
Yep.
I would say, because I think that's something we freaked out about. It's like, we have to have everything before we go.
Yep.
And then you get stuff and you realize you don't need it, and then
you'll end up having too much stuff, because you'll plan for every eventuality, and half of them won't ever happen. And yeah, you just take it easy. Just get the basics sorted. Do some familiar camps if you've got any that are close to home or whatever, and just find your feet. it's nowhere near as daunting as it seems when you first start out, and I reckon you'll ease into it pretty quickly. Don't let it rattle you too much.
And be kind to each other. You know, you're both learning new skills and new things and living in a different environment. So yeah, just be kind to each other, take it easy, and yeah, enjoy.
Daryl has asked us what our big new ideas are for the van, and his guess was some sort of recycled water, and he wants to know, I think, if he's on the money. Look,
are we telling people? Because we told the people at the Titanium.
Yeah, if you're at the Titanium Owners Rally, you got a bit of insight. There are a few things we're going to do that will be coming up on the channel, but I'll give you a little bit of insight. We're going to put a dishwasher in the Caravan, which is pretty exciting. As a massive time save.
And just is going to be so clean.
Yeah, so and a dirty dishes cupboard, as Liz calls it, which we're pretty excited for. We're going to do an underbunk air conditioner in this one. So we've done that for a couple of reasons. One, to get some weight down low, and it is actually lighter than a rooftop aircon. It allows us to duct the aircon too, and I'm interested to find out if it's any quieter. I think it'll be a bit quieter because it's underneath the bed. And we're doing a slightly different setup for our table in the main dining area, and there is one other one that's to do with water, but we're going to keep it under our hats. We're going to keep it under
wraps, and if you're Patreon or at the Titanium meetup,
you might have got a bit of an early.
We're not very good at keeping secrets, but we're going to save that one for the walkthrough. Yeah.
Chris Fitzgerald is asking, how much solar did we manage to get on the roof this time? Well, that's a great question as a follow-up to the last one. A stack. We managed to jam, so a little bit of an insight. This van is a 19'6".
So a foot shorter. A
little bit shorter than our old van. And we managed to get 8 200-watt panels on the roof. So we got 1.6 kilowatts of solar coming in, which is awesome. It was actually a bit of a challenge that Nick, the designer from Titanium, we had 7 on there, and he came back to us when we were designing the van and said, I reckon we can jam 8 up there. And I said, let's go for it. Let's get as many up there as we can. And because we've gone gasless in this van too. So a bit of a spoiler alert there, but yeah, this one's gasless. So solar is going to be key. Maximum regeneration is key. So yeah, we're pretty excited to see how we go for power with so much solar coming in.
Especially with all those new things that we've got in the van that are going to be a little bit power hungry. So we'll see how we go.
Gail's asking, Gail Bentley, how are you, Gail?
Hi, Gail.
Gail's asking what resources we use for homeschooling. I don't know if you covered that before, but
what resources we use. So we actually do distance education through School of the Air. So they actually send us all the resources and all the resources, all the readers, everything through that. We love it. Lots of other people out on the road to homeschooling. I heard Eureka is another good one if you're doing it via homeschool, is what I've heard is good. But I'm happy to look into this a little bit more. Obviously, I can only speak about what experience I've got, but I'm happy to ask around friends and let me know if you want to do a whole video on homeschooling.
Yeah, we might have to do that by the sounds of it. There's a few questions coming in about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about it. So, yeah, definitely happy to answer those.
G'day, Pat. Pat Collins. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for stopping in. David Dawson, when will you have a beer with us, mate? Hope to see you soon, mate. Whenever you do see us, you bring a beer and I'll drink it with you. More than happy to help you out.
Wait, let me twist your arm.
Oh, no, rubber arm. Yeah, okay.
How's this cup of tea? It tastes so good.
Yeah, I wish I had one. Yeah, right. Gail's got some more questions about homeschooling. I think what we'll do, Gail, hit us up on socials. I think we've sort of covered most homeschooling stuff, but if you do have any questions still, drop them in here and I'll see if we can get to it. Otherwise,
I'll make a video.
Yeah, we might have to do a whole video on that.
Yeah. Because it's a minefield, and it's an absolute minefield of what options are available to you, how long you can have that option for, what resources you need, how do you go about it. I'll go through it.
Great. Aussie Odyssey. Yeah, we missed you guys in Tassie. You were chasing us, but you couldn't quite keep up. It was how good was it down there? Tassie was unreal. If you haven't seen our Tassie episodes, jump in and have a look at those. We just finished off all our travel episodes from down there in Tassie. We had an absolute blast. Our travel plans for 2023 are continuously changing is the short answer. There's about 3 plans currently underway. The main one is still to do our east-west crossing, to cross from east coast of Australia to the west coast at its widest point. So Byron Bay or Cape Byron to Steep Point is the plan. It's a changing and evolving plan. Unfortunately, Tom and Amy from Four Boys in a Caravan that we're going to be joining us on that had to pull out. They've got some family stuff going on the East Coast and they want to stick to the East Coast for the year, which we completely understand, obviously. So that's fine. But there were a few parts of the trip we wanted to have 2 vehicles for that were quite remote and just for that backup. So we're just adjusting the route and adjusting our plans a little bit. There are also rumours coming through from Toyota that our 76 series might show up in a couple of months. So we're just trying to figure out the logistics for that.
Flexible plans is what we're trying to do. So.
We don't want to end up, obviously, on the West Coast with our car. Our car's coming into Melbourne if it ever comes. We're just trying to figure our way through that. It might be the east-west crossing might get chopped and done in 2 stages, or we don't really know yet. But whatever we do, it's going to be outback. It's going to be remote.
And it's going to be remote.
It's going to be off grid and back to what we love doing and what we started out doing. And and obviously we've done a lot of eastern states the last sort of 12 months, which we've loved. But we just cannot wait to get back out into the bush, back out into the remote areas, and out back doing what we love to do.
I just want to see red dirt. I know. I was so sick of it in the caravan, and now I just want to be surrounded by red dirt and spinifex.
Yeah,
I just want it.
You always crave what you don't have, but at the same, and we've loved particularly the mountains and stuff this last 12 months. But and Tassie, as you said, was amazing. But can't wait to get back out there. Mac H is asking electrical setup. I assume you mean in the new van. So obviously solar, as we said, we got 1600 watts of solar. That's feeding into 600 amps of battery, 2 300 amp batteries. We've gone with a full EnerDrive setup again. Obviously worked flawlessly in the old van.
Works.
We've done slightly bigger system in this van, mainly just because of going gasless. We wanted to make sure we had plenty of power because it's going to be all of our cooking is going to be done with electricity. It's a bit of a beast. We'll show you through it completely, obviously, when we do it for the walkthrough. But we've got, the solar split into 2 banks going through 2 separate charges and, a few nifty things. The same inverter that we ran last time, the 2600 watt, which worked really well and is perfectly adequate for our needs. I think the system we've got is good for a gasless van. It's definitely overkill if you've got gas in your van, though. You certainly don't need to go quite as crazy as what we have. But we're keen to just try something different and get out there and test it out. So we'll put the EnerDrive system to good use and give it a real workout and see if we can break it. But I doubt we will.
Oh, yeah. And it's got a fancy new layout too, which we'll show you.
It's a cool thing that Titanium started doing with their layouts. It's going to be coming out in their vans coming up that we will manage to squeeze into ours, which is pretty cool. Peter, hey guys, how long was the wait for the new van? Long enough. We were lucky enough to jag a promo van. So Titanium had a production slot for a promo van available that we were able to take. And we were able to get it a lot quicker than we would have otherwise, which we really appreciate Titanium helping us out with that, because we were, those that have followed our channel for a while, we really got stuck between a rock and a hard place as far as lead times and getting our hands on a van in when we needed one. So Titanium really saved us there, and we appreciate that from those guys. Battery, Rodney Jones, you've asked about the battery system and about gasless as well. Hopefully I've covered your question as well, mate. Let us know if not. Smurf Zilla, g'day guys. Glad you enjoyed the Tassie stuff. That's great to hear. And you'll love it when you get over there. A lot of people, the number one question we're getting for Tassie is how long to go for.
Oh, how long is a piece of string? You could go there for a year and not see it all. My only advice with Tassie is that the spirit, if you're towing, if you're towing, there's limited spots for caravans because they go in where the trucks go. So you do have to book early, because if you're towing something, it books up pretty quick. So we had to book 6 months out. And
we still had
had limited choices. Yeah. So it is just something that if you're towing, you probably need to look at that one early.
Yeah.
And just commit for as long as you possibly can.
G'day, Mark T. Straight back at you, mate. Good to see you here. Mac H has also asked us if we've modified the Starlink for DC or 12 volt. Not as yet, mate. No. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sort of going to wait and see. I'm hoping Starlink in the not too distant future will come out with a factory, so-called factory DC solution. There are some pretty decent third-party options you can get now for DC. We may look into that. At the moment, being on the eastern states, we're not using it a lot, but obviously as we go more remote this year, we'll use it a lot more, and we'll just play it by ear, mate, and see how it goes. But yeah, with the big electrical system we've got now as well, it may not be as big an issue, but yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a wait and see for us. Liam's asked what our favourite part about the titanium meetup was. Well, the sore head this morning wasn't the favourite part, that's for sure. That's for sure. It was a bit of a dusty start. It's just awesome to be, like, we love meeting fellow travellers in any circumstance, but to do it somewhere like that with everyone's like-minded, everyone's up for a good time. And yeah, it was good to meet so many of the owners and, you know, diverse range of owners, obviously, and a lot of the staff and the people that are behind the build that will put our van together for us, literally, and the guys from the office right through the guys that work on the factory floor. I think that was really cool to see them. They're all excited to be a part of the whole thing. It's a real team effort, and the team all gets involved. That was a really good. I think that was a real highlight.
I loved it. I just loved having a chat with everyone. Like, it was just so nice, and everyone's so welcoming and so friendly. You just realise just how much of a big family it is, and just. I
think if you're new to caravanning, especially, I mean, obviously we've been in it for a little while, and we still had a great time. But I think particularly if you're new to caravanning, if there's any meetups around you for anything, just get there and go to them. You meet so many awesome people, and in the connections you make, you end up making friends for life. It's pretty awesome. Pat Collins, which sheet colours did we choose? The big Adair's question.
It's like a bluey green, and then we went with the like bluey green flannel check, which is going to go with some interior stuff. So yeah, we'll keep under wraps for the full reveal when I've got all the plants and everything up for the interior walkthrough. But we're very happy.
Yeah.
And we're both happy, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, it's not too feminine. There was a lot of stuff that was quite feminine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of floral bloody...
Sarah walked into a desk, he's like, we just can't have anything floral. And I went, okay, that rules out like 98% of what's in here.
I don't know what the trend is at the moment with floral linen, but it only suits 50% of the population. Anyway, or maybe less. Howard France, good to see you, Howard. Appreciate your support, mate. Howard's followed us for a long time. Any plans to take the caravan on the beach, the new van?
Yes.
Yeah, no specific plans, but we definitely will when the time comes. We're not averse to it.
We have a lot of bookings in Ningaloo.
Yeah, we're going to spend a fair bit of time on the Ningaloo coast when we get over there.
Yeah, we've got about 6 or 8 weeks booked on Ningaloo coast.
Yeah, anyone who's travelled the East Coast knows there's not a lot of beach camping or beach driving opportunities on the East Coast, particularly down south. Up in Queensland, there's a bit, obviously. But, once we get over to WA, mate, we'll be taking the van on the beach. We'll definitely be taking the car on the beach. We'll be doing a lot more beach stuff once we get out of the desert, that is, if we make it through. Pete Wilson, thanks, mate. Catherine, how's the Ranger handling the van?
So great question, because there's something we forgot to tell everyone, but we haven't told them about what we did to the Ranger.
No, so we've done a Lovells upgrade to the Ranger. So we got a bit caught out by the Land Cruiser being held up. So when we planned this van out, we spec'd it obviously with quite a lot of stuff, knowing it was going to be quite a lot heavier than what we had been towing. And if you've watched our weights videos and followed us for a while, you know we were already sort of basically reached our limits as far as weights were concerned. We were only ever able to stay just under them. We planned to have this van being towed by a new Land Cruiser, which would have had the capacity to do that comfortably. The Ranger without an upgrade wouldn't have. So the delay with the new Land Cruiser meant we had to bite the bullet and do an upgrade to the Ranger. So we did a post-rego Lovells upgrade. The vehicle's registered in New South Wales, which allowed us to do a GVM and GCM upgrade, GCM being the critical one for us. So it took the GVM from 3.2 to 3.5 tonne. And as I said, critically, it took the GCM from 6 tonne to 6.6 tonne, which has allowed us to tow the heavier van and obviously take some more gear with us. But
it wasn't cheap.
It wasn't cheap, and it's pretty rubbish ride quality, to be honest. I wouldn't do it unless you have to, and I wouldn't do it if you only tow part-time. Obviously, for us towing for a fair whack of the time, it's not too bad when it's loaded, and when you get the van on, it's a pretty uncomfortable ride if you're not loaded or if you don't have much weight in. So yeah, it was an unfortunate thing to have to do because, as I said, the Land Cruiser might turn up in the next few months, in which case, it's quite a lot of money. I think it was nearly $7,000 to get it done. So it's a lot of money to throw at it, but we got caught out basically by the Toyota delays. We're over a year and a half into that order now. So, yeah, we really thought the Cruiser would be here by now. But anyway, it is what it is. We're safe and we're legal and we're insured, and that's the main thing for us. More money than we wanted to spend and not where we wanted to be, but is what it is. Yeah. Meredith says, Cape Tourville Lighthouse. Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you, Meryl.
That was going back to the...
that's the wheelchair-friendly lighthouse.
Yeah. Just near Wineglass Bay in Fresnay.
That's really beautiful.
And Gail's also said that there's a website apparently for wheelchair accessible attractions in Tassie, and she's going to find it and send it through. If that doesn't come through before the end of this, we'll make sure we share that on our socials on Instagram and Facebook, because that sounds like an awesome resource to share around. Yeah. Susan's happy for us. Thanks, Susan. I've lost my place. You say something.
I was just going back to the wheelchair-friendly one. Again, it's good for so many different people because, if it's wheelchair-friendly, it's flat. So, people that have trouble with their knees or anything like that, if you've got a pram, they're just handy to know. Yeah. So if you've got any good ones, leave them in the comments.
All right, there's a heap of questions here. There's no way we're going to get through all these questions tonight. So just in advance, before I carry on to the next couple, apologies in advance if we don't get to your question. I will go through them after we get off and try and answer them as best I can. But if there's enough on a similar topic, we'll just do a standalone video on that topic. So like Liz said, we'll do a homeschooling one. Sounds like there's plenty of interest in that. It keeps jumping around and I lose my place. And, of course, because I'm sitting here live on YouTube, my nose is really itchy, so I'm not picking my nose. It's just really itchy.
Don't lie. You love picking your nose.
Yeah.
Don't wipe it on when you caravan, though.
Kat's asked, this was 80 days in Tassie, long enough, too long or just right? We kind of covered this before, but 80 days was good. We could have done more. Depends how you travel. We obviously work on the road, school on the road, do all that sort of stuff. So that slows us down a bit and we tend to go a bit slower. But, yeah, if you really want to take your time and enjoy it, 80 days was good. If you can do 100, do 100. Yeah, I could have easily done another few weeks, even another month. Yeah. Kelvin's asking, have we gone the composting toilet in the new van?
Absolutely.
And why?
Oh, it just allows you to stay off grid for longer. It gives you a lot more flexibility. Why? Like, they just work. We are going to do a composting.
I could never go back.
So, because our toilet's brand new. And it's only been minimally used.
The kids both bloody used it the first night, though. We rolled in after picking up the van, just got out of handover, rolled into our first campsite, and both kids needed to do number twos in the toilet. We're at a free camp with no toilet facility, so we had to quickly get the composting thing in and get it all
working. But we'll run through with you, especially while it's new, clean, and we'll just show you right through it, how they work, why we like them. We'll go into detail. So, we will do a composting toilet and a full waste one too. So it's an
rubbish and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be in our off-grid series about waste. So rubbish, how we carry it, where we carry it, how we store it, how do we minimise it, and composting toilets.
Yeah, and grey water and all that sort of stuff as well. Yep. Alan, good on you, legends. Good on you, mate. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Another one from Liam's asked why we chose the titanium. Was it the people, the product, the service? Bit of all three. On the product front, it was, like Liz sort of touched on earlier, it was primarily the customization, the ability to build the dream van that we wanted to build in the layout we wanted. It didn't require a whole lot of pushing, I suppose. Titanium were very open to all our ideas. You'd be surprised how many manufacturers out there just won't even consider ideas, even
layouts or changes.
I know there's people that are more experienced traveling than us out there, but I would have thought after you let them know that we've been traveling for a couple of years, we're full time in a van, and we've got some things that we want to incorporate. They're just not even interested in listening. Which was pretty frustrating. Titanium obviously aren't the only ones who will do it, but they were just the ones that we wanted to work with.
They were as excited about our plans as we were, as
as
we were about them, and they just wanted to make it happen for us. So
yeah, it's just a vibe you get from the people too. Like they like Liz was saying, they were excited, we were excited. It just all worked out really well for us, and it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's people out there thinking, well, that's all right because we've got a public presence or whatever, but it wasn't really about that. It was just about being associated with good people and just knowing that you just get that feeling that you're going to get looked after properly after sales as well. It's not just the sales experience, and all that stuff's really important. Obviously, Aussie made in a factory in Melbourne. And it's a standalone factory. There's a lot of factories that build multiple products of vans or multiple brands of vans.
Which is so interesting when you go van shopping, isn't it?
Because Titanium build their own vans in their own factory, and we knew you can go walk into the factory. We did a factory tour, had a good look around, met a lot of the team before, and that makes a big difference too. It gives you a really good impression of the organisation, and even just walking through the factory, the guys that are on the floor building the vans, as we were walking through on the factory tour, smiling, waving, saying g'day. Like
the work culture is really beautiful, isn't it? And you could see on the weekend they all came on their weekend off, like
to go and hang out with owners
and come camping together. Like it was just so nice. They're a beautiful, beautiful team, and they're so lovely.
Kerry's asking the best bit of Tassie of our Tassie trip.
I really loved Bruny Island. I really, really loved Bruny Island. I could move to Bruny Island. And other favourite parts were Cradle Mountain and Lake Gardner and Mount Field. Loved them. Absolutely loved them. But then the West Coast was so good too. We had amazing weather. Honestly, you can't go wrong. And Bay of Fires. Oh, perfect. So, pretty much Tassie, just all of Tassie. The food's amazing, the wine's amazing, the cheese is amazing, the bread's insane.
And the people, super friendly.
And it's like going back into the 90s too, for some of it too. Like it's just a slower pace of life. You don't get internet everywhere.
But just the friendliest people. Everyone wants to make sure that you have a really good time in their town or their region, and they want to tell you about all the good spots. It's not one of those places where there's all these secrets that everyone wants to not tell you about the local spots. They're just so proud of their state, and they want to share it with everyone. It's just unreal. We got some amazing invitations to go and do a lot of things, and unfortunately we couldn't make a lot of them happen just with timing and everything, but it's just that gesture of people wanting to show us around and have a good time while we're there. And they didn't know us from a bar of soap, just people that you meet as you travel. So that was a standout. But Tassie's awesome.
And I think too, when you're traveling Tassie in summer, it's sort of like everyone goes there in summer because that's when the weather's most appealing to a lot of people. So you get a lot of traveling community going there at the same time. And it's got a nice vibe. It's got a really nice travel vibe.
Shani's asked the weight difference between the two vans. So this one came in, it's about 300 kilos heavier than the old one. But there's a lot more, as we said, there's a lot more in this one as well. So
the amount of solar panels.
I don't know. I can't remember exactly how much those solar panels weigh, but there's a fair bit of weight just in those solar panels alone. Obviously, the extra lithium as well. We've got a heaps bigger front toolbox. We've got
washing machine in
this one.
New.
Well, that's a bit of a spoiler alert. Yeah, it's washing machine in this one. So there's like 25 or 30 kilos there. So as we said, we were expecting to have the bigger tow capacity with the new vehicle. So we expect some extra mod cons and some luxuries that we didn't have in the old one. So I mean, it is heavier, but we sort of expected that. We knew that was going to be the case with everything that we wanted in it. You couldn't really avoid that. So
we're still stoked.
Stoked. We might have to wrap it up soon. Dan T wants to know what washing machine we're going to be. Not washing machine, dishwasher we're going to be putting in. It's a Devanti is the brand. It's sold through Bunnings and a heap of other retailers. But we didn't want to go a super expensive one, and we wanted to stay away from the drawer style.
Just for securing it off-grid on corrugations.
Yeah, when we're off-road and bouncing around, we weren't too sure how well those drawer ones stay closed. There's not much that holds them closed because obviously they're designed for houses. So it's not an RV-specific one or anything like that. They're relatively inexpensive. We have no idea how it's going to go. It might fall apart, but we'll see, and we'll tell you if it does.
And we'll tell you if it does. So.
But it's a drop-down door, and then a basket slides out, but it is the half-height one. So it's a full width, half-height, drop-down one. So it's more like your traditional one that you'd have in a house. But
that's going to be your job tomorrow, isn't it, Duff?
Yeah, that's on the list this week is to get the dishwasher and a few other things installed. Yeah. Benjamin, Ben Lynn, how are you, mate? Good to see you. how do you convince the wife to start camping? Make it as comfortable as possible. Start small.
Absolutely. Start small. Take it easy.
Chocolates and strawberries and champagne and butter her up, mate. Just like anything else when you want to convince her to do something.
Yeah. Sorry, what? I think just, find common ground, meet somewhere where, just take it slow, baby steps if it's going to be difficult and challenging. But, I hope you both find somewhere where you both love going. So, enjoy.
Yeah. Empty nesters are offering to join us on the trip. We'll have to get in touch, guys.
We'll call you.
Stay tuned on that. Look, there's a few questions coming through. We're not going to be able to get through all of them. We are aware of everyone's time. Look, I'm just trying to quickly scan through. There's a few double ups, so if I do skip your question, it's just that I think we might have already covered it pretty closely. So if not, I'm sorry, but there's just a lot of similar questions coming through that I think we've probably covered. Gail's asking, we've got a Caravan. Yeah, we do have a Caravan in this one, which is new for us. We're going to try it out.
We haven't tested it yet. We'll let you know.
Titanium swear by them and say they're very effective, and they've got a lot of vans out there using them, so we trust their judgment on that. But we're going to test it out on this one, but we're very, very confident that it's going to keep us dust free. Look, I think we might wrap it up, Dale.
Yeah, back to the wheelchair one. The base of Uluru is wheelchair friendly. That's beautiful. And if you're in Litchfield, the Wanji Falls is perfect for wheelchairs. And
Carol's asking if you're still painting, if you're still doing.
Not enough. I'm going to get out. I'm back at Mum and Dad's where all my art gear is stored at the moment, and there's going to be something very nice going on this fall. So stay tuned, Carol.
Yeah,
it's coming. I'm doing a interior decoration course at the moment online this year, so I'm going to have a Cert 4 in interior decoration by the end of the year. So that's my creative outlet at the moment. So I'm really loving it, but that's my creative outlet at the moment. I'm just trying not to take on too much.
Simon's asking about dogs. We might just do some quick fire questions here and get through a few. Simon's asking about dogs, a bit of a trouble with dogs. We wouldn't personally. We think it's too many compromises. Most of our favourite places around the country are national parks where you can't take them. We're not huge dog people. We have had dogs before, or a dog before. And we probably will again once we're in our home.
Little kids as well. When you're trying to juggle little kids and dogs.
Yeah, it'd be a lot.
It's a lot more
and with
logistics.
Everything else we do work-wise.
Yeah.
How do we keep the kids entertained while we're busy working and editing? We basically take it in turns. I do most of the editing. Liz does most of the Instagram and Facebook stuff. We either do it of an evening when the kids are asleep, like this sort of time of night, or we just take it in turns. One of us will take the kids while the other one does some work. So it works. We find the balance and we juggle it around, and it works. How was the owners meetup? Yeah, I think we've covered that.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, love the channel. Thanks, Michael. All right, I think that covers it. A lot of questions here about the van. We're going to obviously cover all that in the upcoming walk around video. We can't wait to show you that. Heaps more of the off-grid series coming up, as well as Liz mentioned. We're going to do one on waste. We've got one coming up on budgeting and how much it costs us to travel around. We'll probably cover in that a bit about how we make money on the road, but also how we've seen a heap of other people generate income while they're on the road, try and show you guys, because obviously what we've realised is a lot of what's out there telling people how to fund their travels is from people doing what we're doing, and this is obviously one way you can do it, but
we're like 1% of the population travelling.
We meet so many people that are funding it a whole variety of ways. So I know that's a big question a lot of people have, is how to fund a longer term trip. So we'll be covering all that. The off-grid series, like we said, heaps coming up with the van. I'm going to be showing you guys how we go about installing the dishwasher, how we go about installing the aircon.
And the other secret things we've got in
there. The other secret things.
I was like, don't you worry, I was like, you cannot be trusted.
Yeah, a few of the little custom things we're going to be doing. And then, obviously packing it up and getting it ready to go on our adventures. All that and more coming up. Thank you so much to all of you who have joined us. Jump over onto socials or leave us a comment below this video and let us know. Should we be doing more of these live calls? What did you guys think of it? Hope we didn't bore you to death. I hope it's been valuable for you all. If you did miss the start of it, or if you do want to watch the replay, it will be up in our YouTube channel, so you can jump on. And if it wasn't completely boring, you can watch it all again.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Yeah, it's
Enjoy
really
your
awesome.
evening, guys.
And we love this interaction. We love interacting with our audience as much as possible. And if you see us out there on the road, be sure to come and say g'day. We are now in a nice dark coloured titanium van, but still with the White Ranger on front. So we're a little bit incognito. We'll see how many people recognise us.
Nobody knew us on the road today. No.
Yeah, we didn't get as many waves as we normally do, but that's okay. We're sure you'll all adjust very quickly to it as we do as well. Yeah. But until next time, we'll see you next Sunday, guys.
We'll see you next Sunday. Bye.
Cheers.